Hello. New camera setup here. I'm gonna fill that space on the wall. I don't normally have anything there, but I'll find something to put up there. I got a painting or a couple things I could put, but I don't normally have anything up there, so I figured it's okay that I shoot a video with nothing up there. I tried the window last time and it's good. I like it, but kind of washes my face out, which isn't the worst thing because as long as you can still hear what I'm saying, that's all that really matters. But I read something today and I want to make a video about it. And it said, I forget who said this, but logic is not what should happen, but it's what does happen. I really like that. Ooh. I like that a lot. Logic is not what should happen, it's what does happen. Now, I can't quite remember if I've spoken about this even a little bit or alluded towards it at all, but really what that's saying is that despite how much we think that we can predict what's going to happen or be somewhat clairvoyant, especially with, our crystal balls that we carry around in our pockets, which I'm guilty of trying to use as well. Like, I really think the worst thing you can do, and I literally just did this recently, so, and that's why I'm talking about it right now, is because it just happened. But like, if you see somebody that you like, and then you start like not like stalking them, but like looking up their like social media and like trying to find out as much about them before before you get to know them or something, whether it's like somebody that you are like interested in terms of like a relationship or just like someone you're gonna meet for like business or whatever it is. And not to say that it's for business, it makes a little sense, but like, don't you want to like meet somebody and like figure out who they are by like being with them? Like, how many people could you count how many people you've like gotten to know but maybe like stopped or maybe didn't keep getting to know because like maybe somebody else told you something about them, or like you found out something about them through like another source, or you kind of just you kind of like fast forwarded to the end and like did beginning, middle, end all in your head, and you're like, it's not gonna work. And then you could do that, or why you do that is because then you can look at it and be like, oh well, this should work, or this probably will work. By my logical analysis, this according to the data. I love data. No, but seriously, like, it's also, you can get to a point you can be like, oh well, this probably will happen. Like, why do you want to know the future so bad? Like, are you that impatient? You can't just wait a little bit, or you can't just like wake up and, even better, just be like, ooh, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. When people tell me like, oh, like I got no idea what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I got no idea what I'm doing. It's like, that's pretty exciting stuff. You have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, when you're watching a movie, you're like watching a show or whatever. It's like, and the plot's unfolding. You're like, man, I have no idea where this is going. Don't you just like? Aren't you just like, man, I gotta see where this goes? Or doesn't that intrigue you, get you on the edge of your seat more? Can you be on the edge of your seat for your own life? Or can you only be on the edge of your seat for the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Can you only be on the edge of your seat for Despicable Me 3? Could you be on the edge of your seat for yourself? For the record, I'm only drinking whole milk. That's all I drink. Can you be on the edge of your seat for your own life? When you're watching a really good movie, do you skip to the end? You're like, I can't take it anymore. I know what happens. When you pick up a new book, do you read the last page and you go, okay, I'll read this? So when you meet new people or you're going to try new things, like why do you try to like logically analyze whether this is something that's good for you or not? Why don't you just trust yourself to find out in the moment? And everyone's guilty of this. I am too. That's why I'm bringing it up. Like I said, there's somebody I met and I was like, this person could be somebody I'd want to keep talking to or like maybe go out with or something. So let's see if this is a good, and now my brain's all like we gotta find out everything about him. Do a little, and in the middle of that, I'd stop myself and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Cut it out. Like, you're gonna keep on seeing this person. Like, circumstances are that I'm going to run into this person again. So just figure it out that way, but going back to the initial statement that, logic is not what should happen, it's what does happen. Be okay with what does happen and stop trying to only live in what should happen. If something happens that you're like, that shouldn't have happened, it shouldn't have happened this way. Well, it did. And time moves in one direction, at least in the realm of the plane of existence that we live in, that we're subject to. Time is linear, right? In its highest form, time is not. Time is malleable to the point where it just is, right? That time is not necessarily even forwards, backwards. Now time is just, it's more actually what this is the time of this, seasonal, right? Like in the way we have seasons throughout the year, like time is it's the time for harvest, it's time to sow, it's a time for things to die, it's a time for things to blossom, right? We won't get too deep into that, but time, we already know time is relative, but like I think people fail to understand that. It's not like, oh, I could go to Mars and come back and I'll be younger than my grandson. No. As far removed as we are from time in its highest form, time might as well be relative but irrelevant. Not because we don't experience it, but because we're so far removed from time in a grander scheme, so we experience it at a very, like, if there was like a pyramid of all the different ways in which you can experience time, we are experiencing it at like the bottom rung of that ladder, or the very base of that pyramid. But let's bring it back to how we experience it: past, present, future. All right. And quick tip: if you want to be more like God, not to say like that you aren't already, but if you want to get back in touch with the ways in which we were created to be like God already, right? So if you want to be more in tune with yourself as a creation, start living only in the present, right? That's how God is. God existed before time anyways, right? God is timeless. So it just means he is. Now, you'll never be able to be exactly like that, but just start be present, and be present with God, and live your life present minded. And then in that way, you will feel God more because he is present with you, right? God isn't necessarily living in your past or your future. God is just living with you right now. He always has been and will be, right? In that way, it's a little bit paradoxical, but there's a mystery to our relationship with God. And doesn't that keep you on the edge of your seat? Does that mystery want to keep you in a state of wanting to find out what happens next? I think that stuff's fascinating. I think people really ought to, they don't need to do anything. Don't ever say that again. You don't need to do anything. That's a bad habit that everybody should kick, I think. But unless it's actually appropriate to say need. Oof. Dangerous word, need. Be very careful with that word. But being in a state of like, oh, this is probably going to happen. It's like, well, logic is useful. It's good. Rationality is good. Science is great. You can measure stuff like this will probably happen. Logic is really great if you're like, trying to be online sports bettor. Go for it, whatever. But the more and more you try to live only a logical life, right? The more and more you'll live your whole life being like, I can logically deduce everything that's going to happen. I can always be a step ahead, but it'll never work out that way. And eventually you will get to a point where you will, circumstances will arise where you'll be like, logically, this doesn't make any sense. But it does make sense because it's happening. So by you saying that what's happening doesn't make any sense, it's like, well, now you're just living in delusion. Now you're saying reality doesn't meet what I think should probably happen. So that means that it's irrational. You're saying reality is irrational, but it's happening. Like there is a rationality behind it. You just don't understand it yet. So really by saying that something is not like, I understand that you can statistically deduce probabilities, right? I'm not saying that's completely useless, right? But by saying that after something occurs, to look at it and be like, that just doesn't make any sense. It's just living in a state of denial. It's trying to think that you know better than reality. That it's such a high level of cognitive dissonance, the fact that you could look at something and be like, oh, that's just so irrational. Because it doesn't make sense to you, or it's not what you do you ever consider that maybe you're just missing a piece? I examined all the numbers. I looked at all the data. It just doesn't make any sense. Get off Reddit. Get off Reddit. Get off the internet. I'm on the internet too much. But I still don't try to talk like that. I'm kind of being a dick. But yeah, get off Reddit. Your 120 IQ didn't... Your 120 IQ didn't allow you to predict every single outcome in your life? Oh, what? Well, that's just because you just got cheated then. That doesn't make any sense. Everything that happens that you didn't expect is just an outlier. You're actually the puppet master of your own life. You're the puppet and the puppet master. Yeah, maybe you are because you're just playing yourself. You're just playing yourself. Logic is not what should happen, it's what does happen. Because it has happened. And time is moving one way. At least the way we experience it. Time is moving forward. So there's no well, if it just happened to, every other time, 99 out of 100 times it would happen this way. It's like, yeah, but it didn't. And there are no 99 other times. At least for you, there isn't. There's not going to be. So how about logically speaking, you were wrong. This is be careful with. We already said be careful with need. We can get to that at some point, but really for this video, be careful with probably. I actually really do not like that word, probably. That's just probably. No. There's a really, really great, I guess you call it like a parable. Hesitant to say it's a parable. I think it's a parable. No. A Chinese parable. I think it's Chinese. I'm not just making that up. I'm serious. About like a farmer and his son, and they you should look up the whole thing, but I'll give a quick rundown. It's like a farmer and his son, and they live on this farm, and they grow like some sort of crop. Let's say they grow potatoes, and then something happens, and um, they have this. They need to like plow the field to grow this crop, and then what happens is the they only have one horse, and the horse runs away. So the son goes to the father, and he goes, "Dad, we're cooked. We can't plow the field because we don't have a horse to pull the plow, so we can't plant the crops, which means we're gonna go hungry." And he was like, "What do we do? We are screwed." And the dad goes, "I don't know. I can't call it, right? I can't really." And then what happens is that the next day the horse comes back, and behind the horse is 50 other horses, and the son is like, "Dad, we're not growing potatoes anymore. Hallelujah, we're in the horse business now. We're gonna be rich." Horses are expensive back then. He's like, "Dad, aren't you so excited?" He goes, "I don't know. Can't call it. We'll see." And then what happens is, the son's trying to tame all these horses. He's trying to break them all in so they can sell them, use them for the fields, whatever, use them for all the labor. And the horse, as he's trying to break one of them, the horse kicks him, and he breaks his leg, and he can't walk. He's in a cast, can't eat. So now he has all the horses, doesn't know what to do with them, and he can't even work the fields and his dad's too old, right? So he goes to his dad, and he's like, "Dad, now we're screwed. I can't do anything for you. I can't work this land. I can't tame these horses. We're out of business again. What are we gonna do? We're screwed." Dad goes, "I don't know. I'm not sure what we'll do, but I can't quite call it." And then the next day, army passes through. They're going off to war, and they stop by the farm, and they go, "We need your oldest son," which is his only son. He goes, "We need him to go fight our enemies. We're riding into battle." And the father's like, "Look, I would, but my son, his leg's broken. He can't go, and I'm way too old. I can't even work my own land." And he goes, and so the army goes, "Very well," and they keep going, and they ride off to the deaths. And the point, you can keep going with this, right? But the point is that no matter what happens, the son has all these probablys. This is what we're gonna do. But he's looking at these probablys with such conviction, which is good. It's actually better to have conviction. But really, the point of this is that he's going to his dad and being like, "Oh, things happen, but nothing's actually happened yet. Things have occurred, but nothing's really been established. Nothing's actually really happened. Nothing's come from it. No fruit has been bared from this." So the dad stays still, and he goes, and he doesn't give into all the probablys. We're probably going to do this. We're probably going to do that. We're probably screwed. He rejects all of it, right? Can't call it. And that's how we need to be with life in general. Stop looking at everything and thinking that you can always be one step ahead of every outcome. At my job, when I book a new client, I go to my boss, and I'll be like, "Hey, can you ring this guy up for this many sessions, because I'm training him now." And one time my boss was like, he's like, "Oh, that's great." He got excited. He gets happier than I do about it. Which I appreciate. It's great. And he's like, why don't you tell me?" I had waited a day to tell him because he wasn't in the work, so I waited for him to come back. And he's like, "Why don't you shoot me a text, or why don't you tell me these things?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just figured I'd see you in person and tell you." And he goes, "You don't even seem that happy about it. You don't even seem that excited." And I'm like, I haven't really done anything. Nothing's really happened. Yeah, I have a new client. I'm busier now. I'm making a little more money. Cool, great. But I don't know if this person is actually if they're gonna show up as much as they say they are. I don't know if they're gonna, if I'm gonna have a good time working with them. I mean, I don't worry about that at all. I have pretty much a good time with just damn near all of my clients. because I haven't helped them get to any really achieve any of their goals. I haven't really helped them actually yet. All I've done is taken their money. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't. There's no time to celebrate. Job's not finished, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't. Because that's not why I do what I do. Not even just training. I'm just talking about general. It's not why I live my life. It's not why I live my life to just be like, for things to go my way and then be like, yes. Every now and then I can't help myself. But like, I live my life to see the fruits of the work that I do. And until I've seen that, there's no. So if the horses come into the stable, right? Great. If if I break my leg, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, but I don't know what's really going to actually come from these things. Nothing's actually happened. Nothing's really happened. So why are we celebrating? I celebrate the things that have happened. I celebrate the things that are currently happening. I celebrate waking up with breath in my lungs. I celebrate having a healthy body. I celebrate the love of God. I celebrate grilled cheese sandwiches that I make at night. Love it. I celebrate those things because they're happening. They're real, right? But somebody buys something from you and you make a little money, but like, what's actually happened? What have you done what have you actually done? What good how have you changed anybody's life? Like, that's all looking at just what's probably going to happen. That's living in the future. It's like, great, now you're going to make all this. Stop. You sold this client, now you're going to make more money. It's like, okay. I could do that, and it's not like my life is worse if I do that necessarily, but don't get into the habit, because then you'll start celebrating things too early. You'll start celebrating them before, you start celebrating the chickens before they hatch. Those are all the probablys. Don't do that. Live to be present and celebrate the things that are happening right now, and that alone. That's it. The time for celebration for everything will come. When I have clients and I work with them for an extended period of time, and then they come to me, they go, hey, I lost 10 pounds. I celebrate with them. Great. There's no probably. No, that's not a probably. That has happened now, right? So get rid of probably. Get rid of logically trying to deduce what's going to happen. Just stay locked into the present and learn to celebrate things, even the smallest things, like they're the biggest things. Because they are. They are. They're mundane, maybe, but they're the big things. They are the big things. And you can either realize that now and celebrate them every day and thank God for them, or you can just miss them when they're gone, when you don't have them. And then you can't celebrate them. All you can do is mourn them and grieve them because you don't have them. And live in anticipation and anxiety for when they're going to come back, if they ever do. That's up to you. You can start doing that whenever you want. I've had moments. I've literally had moments where I'm leaving work and I'm going home and I'm thinking about the food I'm gonna eat for dinner, and it genuinely makes me feel so happy and feel so good in the moment. I can't sit still. I'm like I'm grin just because I'm thinking of like making dinner and like calling one of my friends or something. Just that simple stuff, you know? I guess that maybe that's a probably too, because maybe I get in a car crash on the way home. But those are like the immediate things. You know, the small, immediate things, learn to celebrate those. It's amazing. Life, joy, happiness, that does not that does not trickle down. It's not like you work up and then you get this thing and then your whole life changes. You build that shit from the bottom up. You build it from the bottom up. You build it from the bottom up and you just appreciate the small things, and you don't stop appreciating those things and only appreciating the things that are the biggest things in your life. You start appreciating all the small things, right, as your foundation to then build the big things on top of that you can appreciate. But you have to appreciate and you have to take joy in the small things as if they are the biggest things in your life. Because if you haven't really gone anywhere or done much, or you're not really sure like what you have or do not have, just look at what you know is true and what you're present with. Don't look at your probablys, and celebrate those things, because those are the biggest things, because those are the only things that are not probably. That's what you got. And it might not be much, but it's all relative, right? Like a millionaire might, the ways in which he feels gratitude and joy about his Ferrari, you can feel the same way about a bowl of cereal. You can. It's all relative. You can. Logic is not what should happen, but it's what does. Look at what's around you. Celebrate what's in front of you. Stop using probably. There is no need. Let that stuff come naturally. Stay on the edge of your seat of your own life. Be on your toes. Be ready for the things that come to you, and celebrate those things, big or small. And when they leave your life, celebrate that they were there. Don't just grieve that they're gone. Right? That's easier said than done, but if you only live in the probably, or you're only living in the future, if you're really doing anything else but living in the present, you're gonna miss out on those things. You're not gonna be able to celebrate those things and take stock and be grateful for what you do have. I know it sounds kind of cliche, boring, or whatever, but it's very true, and I don't think anybody can be reminded of that enough. There is no perfect algorithm to know exactly what's going to happen in your life. There's no amount of numbers that you can crunch, or studies you can look at, or science experiments you can run to see what is going to happen in my life. Do not skip to the end. Do not read the last page in the book. You bear the image of God. God is, and he lives present always. Be that way as well. Bear his image in the way that you live. Don't even be concerned with past and future. Just be present. Just look at what's right in front of you. And if you do that and you constantly appreciate everything that you have right in front of you, and you try to build on top of that, right? That mindset is more logical and will bear more fruit and lead to more discovery of truth in your life than any amount of scientific study or statistical analysis or internet searching, forum discussion reading that you can do. That will bear more fruit than any of that and all of that combined. Just remember, the world wants to tell you that they can figure out your life for you if you just give me this amount of money a month, or if you subscribe to this service, or pay me for this service, or do this for me. I can give you this thing that's going to work all the way for you. Don't fall for that. Don't skip to the end. Stay on the edge of your seat. Enjoy the mystery. Be present with God. Appreciate the things that you do have, because they are the biggest things in your life. And use logic and reason and rationality for the things that it's meant for. Your life and where you come from, that source, that eternal love, that is bigger, more powerful, more impactful, and more true, more based in truth than any amount of logic or reason. Any sort of institution, educational institution, things with intellectual authority will not tell you that, or uh, will not even like entertain that idea, and then make you feel silly if you believe it. But look at their reasons, look at their intentions, their incentives to get you to believe that, so that you can believe what they have and what they're selling instead. That's all bullshit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, logic, it's good. It's not going to get you to where you need to go. Be present. Stay off the internet. Milk.